This is from the Spaniards, but we all know that the mixing went on, right? Like, we know what mixed people look like. There's some beautiful children. We give them names like red, light bright, yellow, you know what I mean? But they were all, they all get that hue. They all become something in between, which there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. If, just done out of love and things of that nature. But when it's encouraged in the newspapers, let me start off and show you how old. As far back as 1792, when it's encouraged in a newspaper to actually be used as a tool to civilize, it has been suggested that the best method to facilitate the civilization of the Indians and attach them to the United States would be to encourage the intermarriages of whiteys with them. 1792. 1816. If a system already devised has not produced all the effects with blah blah blah, if everything blah blah blah, among them the Indian savages, ideas of exclusive property and things real and personal shall fail. Let intermarriages between them and the whites be encouraged by the government. This cannot fail to preserve the race with the modifications necessary to enjoyment of civil liberty. But they also knew that they were copper colored. I'm not going to go into it. This is not all that, but they knew that the people were copper colored, darker, and they also knew that. 1825, still encouraging it. 1888, still encouraging it. And I got 50 plus more of these, but I wanted to show you a gap of almost 100 years from 1792 to 1888, where they had been encouraging it over and over again. That's why you get people like this who state that they're the Pamunkey Indian tribal chief. But, it's so funny. These people don't look any kind of mix. This guy might have a little bit left in him. He looks like he has like an eighth or a 16th of a dark-skinned, person in him. And that's supposed to be the Choctaw chief. But that's funny because a lot of people know that today's current Native Americans look like they're Asians. And when you look up what a YT and an Asian mix looks like, you can see it. You can see it in their faces. I see both a YT and an Asian. These will comprise some of your modern day natives, but that's not really the whole case, because these people had a migration story coming over here. Didn't really get here to the 1500s, but long story short, they're not the ones who were supposedly mixing. These people are not copper colored, okay? Right here, this section, the notion of marrying our fair, well-formed, high-minded Kentucky boys on the frontiers to the copper-colored, misshapen, stupid Potawatomi ladies of the woods seems to not relish good with the people. So basically, we know exactly what they're talking about, misshapen. And we all know neither one of these people that they're mixed with have any kind of shape, okay? Neither the YT side or the Asian side. No disrespect. But let me take you to this document. I've done a video over this, but I want to show you how these people played the cards to the T throughout generations, really fast. So the Chickasaw Loves were a very prominent Choctaw family. You see the current Choctaw chief. And I take that back. I think they were Chickasaw. Yeah, no, the Loves are Chickasaws. Duh, because it says loved allies and loved in the Chickasaws. But the Chickasaws people are pretty much the same. So what you'll see here is Thomas Love. A lot of the Loves come out of Thomas Love. But when Thomas Love came over here, the Loyalist, he also had a set of people with him. Look at this date, 1766. Remember, I showed you 1792. They were encouraging intermarriages with the YTs and the Indians to civilize them. So then you get these few people coming over in boats, and let's see some names. British Colonial Office in London in 1766, you got James Adair, Michael Cheadle, James Colbert, Benjamin Seeley, William Kemp, William James, Thomas Love, of course, McLish, Pickens, So those are the surnames, right? These people came in 1766. And this is going to go to show the corruption. And actually, I was trying to show this last night on a live stream with Monty and OHF and all of them, you know what I'm saying? Because Monty was giving them that work, but was talking about the corruption of the 5 civilized tribes, and this is going to show that corruption, the infiltration and corruption. So 1792, right? And they came over in 1766, and they started following the letter to the T. And let me show you what happens. So I found this right here, the general laws of the legislature of the Chickasaw Nation. 1867, 1868, 1869, 1870. About 100 years have passed since 1766, since they came over on the boat, started intermarrying in the tribes in order to civilize them on purpose. Well, it was encouraged by the government in the newspapers. So let's see, who are the people who's running the nation in 1867? Well, do you remember those surnames? They all came over together like they had a plan, right? Kemp, Colbert, Piercy, Colbert. Okay, we got another. Let's see. Let's go down here. Another Kemp, Pratt, Colbert, Love, McGee. Don't forget Colbert, James Colbert. You got, where's Kemp at? He's over here. Oh, William Kemp. There he goes. Thomas Love. Okay, and we'll see some others. There's a Robert Love there. There's another Colbert, McGee. They wasn't on ours. Kemp, and a few others. So what you have here is a complete record of conspiring to come in and mix with a people. Now what they do is they mix with the people, okay, that are first there, who are copper colored, who are who are darker than me, okay? And they start to produce children, right? Now that would be the first generation. But what happens when she gets with another one of them? Or when a mixed person has a kid with a mixed person? They continue to go back down the line that they came. The hair starts to get more straight and people start to question who you are. What are you? Now that becomes the perfect people to put in place of somebody else. And these people have known this forever. They know that if I go to a place and I want to colonize it, yes, I can use war and all this other stuff, but I still got to get rid of that history, because these people are going to rise back up at some point and may come back. So how do I keep people from rising back up? Well, I start to put another class in between and make it seem like they're not even them, and just completely mix up the history, tell you came from somewhere else, and then now you over here thinking I need to go back there, and it just messes your whole brain up, for generations. But what you have here is what they would do. They would come in, and instead of just taking it over through force, which they would do that too, they would mate with them. And after that, they would have this copper colored. Now she's copper colored also, dark copper, but she can also have children that color as well without him. But either way, what would happen is instantly they have these. Like, these people would have one of me every here and there, but when you have one with them, it always is going to happen. Once you continuously keep mixing, you end up with people like this who want to actually be in the tribe and actually take over the tribe. These people literally, you got to think about it, these people literally came over in a boat. They didn't even know that their plan was going to work. They weren't even going to be alive to see it be manifested. But their offspring and maybe even another generation, that's 100 years, 2 to 3 generations of offsprings later, they're following the plan. Okay? They have generationally followed the plan to take over the tribes, to intermarry in, to confuse people, to split people's minds up, and to erase the history of the original copper-colored Indian that was here, which would look like moi, moi. Okay.